How do I know my 941 deposit schedule? So you choose your deposit schedule at the beginning of the year, and it could either be a monthly deposit schedule or a semi-weekly deposit schedule. So how do you know your deposit schedule for Form 941? You will have 2 years look back to look at. So if you are a Form 941 filer and you have been filing Form 941, you will look at July, I will say July 2022 to June 30th, 2023. So that will be 4 quarters. So the way I like to view it is we are in 2024. So the 2 preceding years, so June 30th, 2023 to July 1st, 2022. You pull, you can just start it from back then to last year too. July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. So that'll be one year time frame. So you will pull those 4 quarters from 941 out, and then you look at line 12 on those 4 Form 941, and line 12 is total tax after adjustment and non-refundable credit. So if line 12 on those 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters that you file between July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023, those 4 quarters, and that's why I pretty much trying to summarize here. The total line 12 for those 4 quarters equal or is less than $50,000, you choose monthly deposit schedule at the beginning of 2024. And if nothing changed, you remain monthly deposit schedule during the year. When I say by month, nothing changed is you didn't make any $100,000 tax liability in one day during the current year. So if that happens though, then you will make that $100,000 tax liability payment the next day, and then you default to semi-weekly deposit schedule for the rest of the year, and for the following year you will remain semi-weekly depositor as well. So if you look at those 4 quarters and you total line 12 of them, line 12 for those 4 Form 941, and the total is more than $50,000, then you are a semi-weekly depositor. You will choose semi-weekly deposit schedule. And semi-weekly deposit schedule, you will follow the semi-weekly deposit schedule, which will be when you pay people from Wednesday to Friday, you will make a deposit by Wednesday the following week. And when you pay people from Saturday to Tuesday, you make deposits of the tax liability for that time, for the payroll, that for wages that you pay during those days. You make the deposit of those tax liability by Friday of that same week. So you pay pretty much twice a week. You make deposit twice a week, Wednesday and Fridays. So you make deposit on Wednesday for wages that you pay the previous week from Wednesday to Friday, and then you make deposit on Friday for wages that you pay from Saturday last week to Tuesday this week. You made that deposit on Friday this week. That makes sense? By Friday this week. So, and that will be the semi-weekly deposit. But if you are a monthly, if your look back is equal or less than $50,000 for those four Form 941 line 12, then you are a monthly depositor. You will make your deposit by the 15th of the following year. And when we are talking about the deposit schedule, we are using when you pay wages, that's when you incur the tax liability. So you do not accrue. You do not use accrue method. It's more like a cash method type thing. So when you pay payroll is when you accrue those tax liability. Is when you incur those tax liability and you pay them. So I think they explain more in the publication 15 as well. And we can go to the publication 15 to where you'll find the information on the look back. And the look back are captured from here. So let's see here. So we are going to detail this more. So if your business is new, now your business is new, but you are a new employer. So that means your look back from July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023, you were not an employer back then. Your form, you won't have Form 941. Therefore, the line 12 of that will be 0. Automatically, you are a monthly depositor. You choose monthly deposit schedule. So if you are a new employer, your deposit schedule is monthly. You pay your tax liability by the 15th of the following month. If you are an existing employer, but you file Form 944 during prior years, like in 2022 and 2023, for instance, then for your look back, you'll pull Form 944 for 2022 and you look at it. So if Form 944 2022, let's see if you can find an example of Form 944. We can just pull 2023. Okay, that'll be this one. We look for the total tax after adjustment, and that will be line 9. Total tax after adjustment and non-refundable credit. So you look at Form 944 2022, line 9. If that line 9 so if that line 9 is equal or less than $50,000, you are a monthly you'll choose a monthly deposit schedule. If that line 9 or Form 944 is more than $50,000, then you'll choose a semi-weekly deposit schedule. So, and that is for Form 9 filer, Form 941 filer that filed Form 944 in the past. But what will be your deposit schedule if you are a Form 944 filer for the current year and or for the preceding 2 years? So your deposit schedule for a calendar year is determined by the total tax reporting during the second preceding calendar year, either on Form 941 for all 4 quarters of that year, or Form 944 for that year. So the look back period for 2024 for a Form 943 or Form 944 filer is calendar year 2022. So if you report a $50,000 or less of tax for the look back period, you are a monthly deposit scheduler. If you report more than $50,000, you are a semi-weekly depositor, and that'll be for Form 944 filers. But if you are filing Form 941, we discuss it. If you are a new employer, automatically you are a monthly depositor if you have not incurred that $100,000 tax liability in one day, which will put you in the category of semi-weekly depositor. And we discuss existing employer that filed Form 944 in the past. Therefore, they will pull their Form 944 for 2022 and look at line 9 on it to compare it to that $50,000 to see if it's less or equal. Therefore, they are monthly depositor, or if it's more than $50,000, then they are semi-weekly depositor. So here they explain it as well. For the new employers, for Form 941 filer, your tax liability for any quarter in the look-back period before you started or accrue your business is considered to be zero. Therefore, you are a monthly scheduled depositor for the first calendar year of the business. So that's, yeah. Thank you. As a disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a CPA. This information is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Use it at your own discretion. Thank you. We thank you very much for watching our videos. We thank you very much for all your comments. We thank you very much, you all that subscribe to our channel. I'm Afiavi Liberman, creator of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel, and ninasoap.com, our blog. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways you can save money and different ways you can make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. And when you are a business owner and your business is young and you have some time to file your own business tax return, that's one way to keep your business expenses low. At the same time, you are learning how to gather your business financial data in a way that when it comes to tax time, you will be able to file your tax return accurately, or when you hire somebody to do it for you, you'll be able to give that person the proper document to help them file your tax return for you. And remember, whether you file the return yourself or somebody file it on your behalf, you will sign the final document. Therefore, you acknowledge that what is on the document is accurate to the best of your knowledge. Therefore, you are responsible for the data submitted to the tax authority on your behalf or on the behalf of your business. So either way, the information is your responsibility. So it might be a good idea So it takes time to file the return yourself, but at the same time, there, there are some learning that you can draw from it. And one of that is, based on the information you need to file the return, you know how to track that information over the month so that when you need it, you'll be able to find it. Thank you.